On this episode, we're sharing all the highlights from a quick trip to Disney Springs as we reconnect with friends, check into the Holiday Inn at Disney Springs, and enjoy meals at Homecomin in Wailulu Bar Grill. Today is January 28th, 2025, and this is episode 741 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey guys! Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic, and on TikTok at MSM Podcast.
If you want to be part of the community and join the conversation, in addition to live streams from the parks and our weekly live show, head to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday.
Planning a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World can be overwhelming and at times just downright frustrating. But don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. Want to get a free Disney e-gift card up to $250? Book a qualifying Walt Disney World or Disneyland room or package through our preferred travel partner, MEI-Travel, and get a Disney e-gift card valued up to $250. This offer is valid for bookings made between January 2nd and February 28th, 2025 for travel check-in dates through August 31st, 2025. Certain restrictions apply. Visit mainstmagic.com/travel for a fee-free, no-obligation quote today.
Well, I am happy that we are finally getting a little warmer weather.
Ooh.
It's gorgeous out. Gorgeous. And I say a little warmer, I mean not in the 40s anymore.
Yeah. We've had winter in Florida.
And consistently.
Like consistently is what I'm saying. Like we've had consistently much cooler than normal weather for Florida.
And not sunny.
No, not at all. I mean, we're going to talk about this quick 30-hour trip. You know, we arrived at about 10:30 a.m. on Thursday. We were leaving by about 3:30 on Thursday. So very quick trip down there.
Wait, no. We were Thursday and
to
leaving
Friday.
on Friday.
Yes, I don't even remember what I just said.
I'm not sure
I'm
either, but
frozen.
I think you said Wednesday. But anyways, the point is...
It was cold.
It was.
And it was wet.
And
it
it's
was
not
rainy.
like that for Florida.
So hopefully some better weather is coming the way, especially in, again, like we say that, and that's fine. I don't mind going to Disney when it's cold and rainy. What I hate is for the folks who are there for their yearly trip.
Correct.
And I know they're coming in January, and that can be hit or miss in Florida, but not often do you come for a week to Disney in January and potentially have 7 days that are cold and
rainy
wet or rain.
And,
you know what I mean?
all the above.
Like at least you might have one of those, but
Yep.
then you're going to have that day all of a sudden like we're about to have that's going to be like 78 or something crazy. So I feel bad for those folks that come down. But with all that being said, you have to understand that can happen. You know, we talk a lot about the weather.
Absolutely.
And I feel like a lot more people seem to say like, well, what's it like in summer? Is it too hot? You got to understand that, you know, December, January, possibly into February.
Possibly even March and April.
Sometimes, yeah. Well, like Liv, who we met down there, our good friend who comes from Missouri, you know, she didn't pack enough, technically like layers and heavy stuff because the forecast can change so rapidly.
Yeah, that she packed and looked at it 2 days prior.
Which wasn't enough.
Correct.
Which is crazy.
Correct.
So that's one of the things we always say. Of course, if you're in the Main Street Magic community, our resident weatherman and meteorologist, Alan, who we got to see,
that was
which was awesome. He updates like once a week or once every other week, straight from a meteorologist about the weather in Central Florida. So go to the Main Street Magic community, ask to join. But we're not talking all about the weather today. Nope. We're going to mostly talk food.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, I did want to, Happy Frappy 12 reached out to me on Instagram.
Nice.
And they were listening when we were talking about the chalk art. And, you know, that really stinks that it rains or whatever weather happens will take it away.
Right.
When we walked by there on Friday morning. When did we go to Epcot? Thursday morning.
Thursday. We did not go Friday.
Yeah, all the chalk is gone. and it's wet, so nobody's doing it, but everything is gone. What these people work so hard on. And I was thinking, what's that like? Is that part of the art? Is that something they love? So they were messaging me and saying, I'll just read it. I'm not sure if this is an equal comparison, but Tibetan monks create sand sculptures or sand mandalas with the expressed intent to destroy them afterwards. They do this to show the impermanence of everything in life, including art.
That's cool.
And so I really do wonder if that is the same mindset that a chalk artist has.
Yeah.
So what we'll try to do, we didn't know chalk artists were there, obviously, when we were just there. We're going back in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. If we encounter a chalk artist, I would like to ask them that.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll report back to you guys, because that is super
cool.
interesting. You know, we when we would go visit my parents more often up in Surfside Beach, a lot of times there'd be sand sculptures on the beach, and we always thought the same thing.
Like, that's so
but again,
sad.
that might be part of your art, you know?
Right.
So I thought that was really cool. So thank you for reaching out, and we will update you guys. So before we get into all the food, and there'll be a good amount of that, we are going to talk about the Holiday Inn at Disney Springs. That's where we stayed for the night. Amy, MEI-Travel, is able to book anywhere.
Yep.
Including all of these Disney Springs hotels.
Yeah.
We have now stayed at all of them except for the DoubleTree.
Yeah, so we need to do that, Amy.
Yeah, we do need to do that, actually. So we'll work that out and do that one next. But we have stayed at the Hilton Orlando, the Hilton Lake Buena Vista, the Wyndham, both the Garden and the Tower. Now, you know, Renaissance, most recently, that was the B Resort. Have stayed when it was B Resort, stayed when it's Renaissance. This Holiday Inn, this was our second or third time. The Drury, of course, we love. So a lot of people wonder about these hotels. We're going to tell you which ones we recommend, and if there's some, maybe we don't. Let's start with our trip to the Holiday Inn. Fair warning, like most of these resorts that we try and tell you guys about, there are going to be resort fees, and there are going to be parking fees.
Yes.
Now, Drury, for example, all it has is a $25 parking fee.
Correct.
There's no resort fee, but...
Right.
At Drury's, where you get that legit hot breakfast, you get legit hors d'oeuvres and drinks in the afternoon, popcorn, sodas all day. So you have a return on that fee. You know, we talked about the Delta last weekend.
Correct.
That normal is like $28.83 or something by the time per night. By the time you get some taxes, a $25 a night. But you get a $25 credit to your room every night. So if you use that credit, you're not really paying much. Well, the resort fee here at the Holiday Inn is $39 per night. All these have 12.5% tax on them, first of all.
Okay.
So just remember that. Now, this fee covers all the normal things, which is what makes me mad about resort fees. Like, this covers for you to use our pool.
Well, it's
okay,
30 degrees out. I don't want to use it.
What if I don't use it? But this actually does give you 2 welcome drinks upon arrival, non-alcoholic or alcoholic.
Correct.
Right there, they have a bar in the lobby, so that is 2 drinks, so that does have a cost to it. Morning coffee in the lobby, as well as afternoon cookies and lemonade. It also gives you 2 bottles of water per day. So if you want to add those up, at least this is a resort fee that's giving back.
Right.
We love the Wyndham. We really, really do. Their resort fee gives you really nothing back.
Right.
So you just have to accept the fact that it's going to cost you, whatever, $25 more a night or something. But at least here you get a little bit of return. And then the parking is $25 per night. And then you can do $29 for preferred, which I believe is valet, correct? Was that their valet?
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it said self-parking, like $25, and then I'm pretty sure it said like valet. $29.
And they have an attendant out there all the time. So I'm guessing for other reasons, but I'm guessing it's for valet. There's really no reason for valet here.
No.
Unless it is like pouring rain and you just want to pull up undercover and hand your car off to someone else.
Right.
But this is a very small parking area, really. So you don't really have to worry about that. All right. Let's just kind of get into it. I don't have a bunch of notes about this. Let's just talk about it because I think in the end, spoiler alert, I don't know that we're going to highly recommend the Holiday Inn at Disney Springs.
No, we're not going to highly recommend it.
So why don't you talk some about it and our experience here? Because we have stayed in the past.
Well,
only one night max.
Yeah. The hard part with these are they're so old and they're not using money that they should to be upgrading and fixing them. But at the same time, I mean, then I'd be scared if they did this whole huge renovation. Then how much would these be?
I know. It's kind of a lose-lose situation for the hotel and
Right.
for us as guests, right?
Right, because this unfortunate time happened to be where we got in the room. Thankfully, nobody was in the room.
Yeah, that was a good start.
That was a good
that was a
start.
very good start.
But it was, I mean, when I say freezing outside, it was literally between 30 and 38.
And it was misting, and we walked all the way from Disney Springs to here.
So we had multiple layers on.
We did, but we were still very cold, and our outer layers were wet.
Yeah. So we get in the room, and it said 72 degrees, and that's what we keep our house on at night, and I'm cold in my house at 72. So I'm like, all right, why is it warm in here? And we're like, okay, maybe because we have all these layers on. Yeah, I think the air conditioning was not working properly. It allowed me to drop it all the way to 50. It never went below 72 until I opened the balcony, which was weird because we had a little balcony on our...
Yeah, that part was nice. That was our first time with the balcony.
It was neat.
There.
Yeah.
It faced I-4,
it did.
But they do have ones on the opposite side that will give you views of Disney Springs and fireworks.
Yeah. So that was cool. The beds... They have to be full beds. I don't think they're queen at all. I'm not sure why, but Jeremy and I both did not, whatever beds they are, we did not sleep very well.
They're pretty firm. Very firm.
The pillows were weird, and we just...
Lumpy.
At least at 3 a.m. we were laughing.
It was like the pillows felt like a bag of skin filled with chicken bones.
Okay.
That's what we ended up with.
No,
I heard it on
remember.
TV or something.
Okay.
No, but they're the pillows that are oddly lumpy. Like you can maneuver the lumps so they perfectly fit whatever you need. Your head, your arms are sticking up on it, whatever. And they're great for like the first 30 minutes. You start to fall asleep. Next thing you know, you wake up and you got taco pillow, right? So the whole pillow's now, your head is basically touching the bed. And now the rest of the lumps are wrapped around your head. And so it's not comfortable. Not only that, at least the two pillows I had, they had different amounts of lumps in each one. So one of them was a lot thinner than the other. So I'm switching all night. We did not have a good night's sleep. We were both awake at 3 a.m, and it's warm. Even though it said 72, I don't think it got below 76-ish.
I agree.
Probably. Rhonda.
It felt like, I mean, you even said it, like, it felt like we were camping, and I'm like, oh my God, it's kind of true.
It did. Yeah, it felt like you were laying in a sleeping bag or on a sleeping bag because we had no covers on us. Because it was warm in there, like on the ground is almost what it felt like. I have slept next to Rhonda in a bed, except for any night that I was away or something when I used to travel more, every single night for the past 20-some years. And I don't think I have ever seen you sleep in a room. I'm not like camping is different, but without covers on you. And you spent almost the entire night without a single cover on you.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, yeah, this is warm. So now our room, as far as that temperature thing goes, we didn't get in and realize it till it was late at night.
Well, and like I said, got in, we were wet. There was, our top layer was wet. Yeah. Then we had to strip off down to the other layers. Yeah.
But inside at that point, you feel like a baked potato because you have so many layers on. It's weird when you're cold, but sweating. You know what I mean?
I never was.
It might just be me.
It might just be you, but I never was. But it was super funny because by the time we kind of realized it was just too late to call. And I mean, now, if we would have been staying more than one night,
yes,
this is something that could have been obviously fixed.
Correct.
So this is not one of the reasons why I'm saying, this
the
is
AC
not something.
is not a knock.
Correct. It's
what
not.
Is
it's
more
just
of a
what
knock.
happened.
Yeah,
it's just
the
beds,
the pillows,
the comfortability of it, and like how old it is. And just if you just note going in because it's a toilet, shower, and sink, and all like kind of right there, like together.
Yep.
And
so whatever year they, now you go into so many, and Disney, of course, has, the sinks, and then they have a separate area that is a toilet and shower. We've been in ones that will have a toilet in its own room, like, our home does, and different things like, or water closet, right?
Yep.
the Delta that we stayed at last week, which Marriott had bought, it was something else. It is obviously older because they had everything in one room. And so...
But then you have some of the older ones that have everything in one room, and it's nice and large.
Yeah. Now, this layout was better than the Delta. The Delta, you couldn't sit on the toilet and open the door.
That's true.
So at least here you could.
Better, but... And then the shower, like, again, was old. And I remember, and I think I talked about this on the... when we stayed at the garden
wing and Contemporary,
when you got in and you were like squish, squish, squish.
Yeah, the floor was
underneath
moving at that one. Yeah,
the tub, but like so this one wasn't moving, but it looked like there was a hump. It was It was lumpy.
Yeah,
it was like the pillows. It was literally so.
Yeah. And then in there, it's the small things that the one towel rack was not really properly attached, so it kind of just spun. The faucet in the tub shower combo, you go to pull up on the thing that turns it from the tub into a shower, and the whole little faucet pulls away from the wall a little bit and the tile. Like it's
yes, I did notice that.
It's these things, and we noticed this at the Hilton Orlando. We noticed this at the Old B Resort, now Renaissance. And Marriott did a wonderful job in the Renaissance there.
Yes, they did.
They really did.
Yeah.
They did what they could, but the same thing with the Delta. These are older rooms that even when they're old enough, even when they try and refurb them a little bit, you still know they're old. Just based on the way the walls look, the way the paint looks. They still have carpet, things like that.
Yep.
And it's not that it was very clean.
Yep.
All of that. It's just something that feels older. And I was saying... aside from the Wyndham, which again is older, but it does not feel like it in there at all. It really feels like that is maybe 10 years old. And of course, the Drury, which gutted that whole Best Western, I think down to pretty much just the bones and rebuilt everything. That thing feels like it was built 2 years ago because
it
it
does.
Almost was. So those two excluded, every other one that we have stayed here, I feel like they're resting... everything they're putting on is their location.
Yes.
And a good price for that location. That's enough for them to sell everyone so that when a lot of people come, everything is done up just enough that it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, they're thinking, why would we dump all this money into renovating this entire resort and bringing it up to date, taking out the carpet and putting in a laminate flooring, really, refreshing everything.
Yeah.
Why would we do that when we don't have a problem booking it because our location is so good for the price that people are going to pay?
Yep.
So that's my thought.
Yep. And that's mine too. And that's where it's just like, that is just,
Now,
be aware.
Now, I do think this trip with that bed and all potentially crossed this Holiday Inn off of my list for even a one-nighter when we just need something at Disney Springs,
I agree.
We've done this.
I feel like I'd stay at the Renaissance before.
I would stay at the Renaissance before I would stay here. Here's the order. DoubleTree gone, right? Because we haven't stayed there yet.
Right.
From least favorite, because I'm not going to say worst, from least favorite to most favorite, I would go with that Hilton Orlando. That is is right next to the Holiday Inn. That would be the lowest for me. I would then probably go Holiday Inn. I would then go with Renaissance. I would then go garden section of the Wyndham.
Yeah.
Then Tower of the Wyndham.
Yeah.
And then at number one, I think for both of us is the Drury. Right?
Absolutely.
And I don't think I left any out.
No, but I will say going.
Oh, and there's the Lake Buena Vista Hilton. I'd put that around the probably. Maybe even between the Wyndham and the Drury.
Well,
that Lake Buena Vista one's not pretty nice.
And going back to the Drury and then actually going back to the Holiday Inn.
Oh, yeah.
So your parking fee is $25 per night, which is the same as the Drury. But with the Drury, you are getting hot breakfast in the morning, and an extensive at night, almost dinner. And then you are getting like snacks in between, and then you're getting sodas too. Now that's included. Oh, and 3 alcoholic drinks. So that is included with all this for $25 per night. So you get this $25 and you get the 3 bottles of water or 2 bottles of water per day, and you get the welcome drinks. But if you would like breakfast in the morning, we saw that it was $24.99. So pretty much $25 per person for that day, for each day.
And from from my quick glance of what was on people's plates and what I could see in the buffet line,
same as
it's
Drew.
basically Drewy.
Yeah.
And $24.95 a person. That, first of all, I almost wanted right there just to find anyone to say, this is the most absurd thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's $100 for family of 4.
Even if the Drury wasn't giving it away for free up the street, anywhere you would go, that is absurd. $25 for that. So just, again, almost like the Delta, sometimes these places work when they work.
Right.
Did this work for what we needed it for? The price? 100%. Were we very, very glad to get to our own bed last night and get to sleep in our own bed now for quite some time?
Yeah.
So happy. So you just have to look at those things.
Right.
I just could not, in good conscience, recommend someone who's doing more than one night to stay here.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
That's our holiday in review at Disney Springs. And again, MEI-Travel, they can find you any other place, and reach out to us anytime.
She can book the Wyndham.
Exactly. Yep. Down Flamingo Crossing still are such better options, even though you can't walk to Disney Springs. Any price difference or anything, it's worth budgeting in then an Uber or a rental car to go to Flamingo Crossing, as opposed to, I think, half of these hotels at Disney Springs. Speaking
of like Disney Springs, and going back to that real quick, and speaking of walking, it is kind of funny because on that side with the Holiday Inn, with the B Resort, is also the Hilton. All 3 of those are on the opposite side, so you have to cross 2 bridges to walk across. And it was funny because I was listening to somebody was talking about it and was like, she was like, oh, it's way closer. And I don't really know if it's way closer. Right. It's just funny how she was specifically saying she didn't want to cross 2 bridges, which if you stay at the Wyndham, which we would recommend, and if you stay at the Drury, which we would recommend, those are the one bridge.
Yeah.
So.
And with all that being said, Drury is the furthest one.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so it does take a bit of a walk to get to Springs. I still think it's worth it.
I do too.
With all of these hotels, as well as any other off-property, yes, a lot of these offer transportation and shuttle services. It's normally not one you're ever going to use because, as we've said before, it's very limited. Sometimes you have to have reservations. Sometimes they might charge you a little fee per person. They might leave 2 or 3 times to the parks in the morning and only come back 2 or 3 times in the evening. Most of them have to drop you off at... Well, they all pretty much have to drop you off at TTC for Magic Kingdom. Some of them, when you go even further, have to drop you off at TTC for any park you want to go to. So we have always stayed at these and then gotten by however we needed by walking to Disney Springs. I know there aren't direct to park buses from Disney Springs, but you can still work your way around by going to a resort that's close or just using an Uber or Lyft or getting a rental car or something. So again, just all those things to think about. But let's talk about food.
Okay.
That's what I'm excited for. We did stop back by Festival of the Arts, and I'll be honest, our intention was to knock off a few of the items that are new that we had not tried. And I didn't feel like it. None of the reason we didn't try them last week is none of them really interested us. One of them was the beet tartare, though, that Amy did
loved.
have.
She really liked it a lot.
She said it was bright. It was fresh. She thought it was very delicious. Thought it would be perfect for something like Flower and Garden.
Okay.
As opposed to this, because she ate it on a cooler day. Oh. So much like, the soup in Canada.
Yes.
You want to eat on a cool day, but the beet tartare in Canada, you might want to eat on a warmer day.
Correct.
But she did enjoy it. The other one was like a pork and bean cassoulet over in Germany. So we kind of just decided to hit a few things that we love from the past, and that's pretty much what we did. So let's start though at Gourmet Landscapes there, because you went for your wild mushroom risotto.
Well,
right?
It was super cute too because we were I can't remember where we were sitting. Oh, because I think when we started out, Jeremy wanted an empanada, and I got the soup, and I was like, so we went ahead and did that. But he says, like, looks at me and goes, "Is there anywhere you want?" And I'm like, I don't know, man. So all of a sudden, I think it was Amy that ended up saying something like she had the risotto, and I was like, oh, I forgot about that at Canada. I was like, that's what I want.
So how was it? Because this is one of those ones we do warn people.
Yes.
It could be a little different.
It was
each time.
fantastic.
Good.
This one was a great one. And it is the wild mushroom risotto with aged Parmesan, truffle shavings, and a Zinfandel reduction. It is $9.79. It is plant-based, and it is obviously gluten-free because Amy can eat it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fantastic. She got it the day before, liked it. When I decided I was getting this, she went with me and got another one.
Oh, yeah.
And hers were great.
Great, yeah.
So that was good to hear.
Yeah, so it sounds
so
like some good consistency there. And even
So
the one
good.
time we had it and it wasn't the best, the flavors were outstanding.
Correct.
I think
The
it had been
risotto was a
bottom.
little
Yeah,
chewy,
yeah. I
I
think it had
think.
been bottom of the tub that they're keeping it in, so it had like a little bit of burnt. But then, yeah. So anyway, I stopped by Opening Bites again to get another soft shell crab slider.
Yeah, you did.
This is why we prepare you that sometimes things can change a little bit, or some dishes can be a little bit different if you get them twice, like the pork belly, depending on how it's cooked. This soft shell crab slider today was very similar to the one I had last week, which I absolutely love. The only difference here, this one was a lot more lightly breaded, like where you could actually see shell through the breading, where you couldn't on the other one. So
How'd you feel about that?
Well, it honestly, I think because there isn't that big thicker coating of breading, it gives a little more crunch to the soft shell, which almost becomes a little bit like a harder shell. So the whole thing is a little bit more crunchy. The texture's off, and you just need that breading ratio for this thing. But the ketchup stuff was good. The mango ketchup, the slaw, everything else was good. The bun was outstanding. It's just one of those things, like, I'd hate for me to talk something like this up so much and then not tell them that I had it a second time.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't quite there. Now, Rachel had it. Was great.
Yep.
Justin from Morning Monorail. It was first ever soft shell crab I think he had. I saw him post. He had it. It was great. So again, this could have been a little bit off. I would just hate to recommend something like this. And we're going to talk about something like that later that's been recommended. And then somebody go and get the one that I had this last time and be like, Jeremy's an idiot.
Yeah.
Because that's not the one I was talking about. So that's all. Speaking of Vibrante and Vivito, that is where we went first.
Yes.
Empanada. I had it last week. I had another one. Everybody knows I love this thing. But you mentioned the soup, which we had in the past, and you wanted to go ahead and get that because it was cold and rainy.
Yes.
What is the soup here?
Well, it's a spicy
I don't even know how to pronounce that one.
Jacko soup. I don't know.
That's what we're going to call it. I would say ajiaco is what I would say.
With
Guajillo.
Yep, and
Arbol.
Yep, chili spice chicken, potato, avocado, corn, and creme fraiche for $6, which honestly I think is just a dollop of daisy.
Oh, 100%
cream.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a dollop of daisy.
This was sad because it was not steaming hot.
Yeah, and we rope dropped it. We were like the second or third in line to order.
We did.
Yeah.
I only am sad because it was cold and I just wanted that nice warm in my body.
Did you didn't taste it till we sat down though? I was gonna say what was because we walked from there. We went to walk to get indoors. It is cold out. We went to go into Morocco, to that area, to Tangerine Cafe. They said, sorry, this seating is only for people ordering from here.
Yeah.
So we walked all the way back in Morocco to some of the seats that are back there. That's when we ate it.
I know, but I
think it had a major cool down?
No, it shouldn't have been. I mean,
I'm just throwing it out there.
But at the same time, I mean, again, it wasn't 85 degrees out.
Right.
So something like that, if it's 85 degrees out, it's nice not to be so warm.
Right.
But then it was 45 degrees. So I'm like, please, it needs to be real hot.
Does it matter? Did it matter?
No, everything was still there. All the components, everything was really good. It really wasn't as spicy. The guy did ask, he was earning his ears, sweet Jeff did ask and pretty much alert me that it's very spicy. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
We're like, great,
but it was not. No. My mom, I think, could have even eaten that spice.
At the very end, some of the last bites, I don't know, because I was kind of trying to scoop and find any extra meat on the bottom. I don't know if whatever spice had settled, because in the last bite or two, I did get some spice, still not anything crazy, but I'm wondering if it kind of settled. It's got It's got a whole half a ear of corn in here, which
You
is
ate it?
delicious. Like fresh avocado, and that dollop of daisy. Like this is a really, really good soup.
Yeah, it is.
And as the avocado and the sour cream or the creme fraiche starts to mix into the soup, it just makes it nice and creamy. And I love this thing.
Oh, yeah.
I really, really do.
Ditto.
It's great for a cold day, but I'd still get it if the weather warms up here soon.
Yeah.
Like really, really enjoyed it. Then we also got a past favorite and a great cold day option, right?
Yes, and this was this is what you got when I went to go get my mushroom risotto.
Yes.
Which was Pop Eats.
Yeah, and they've got the grilled cheese sandwich with a tomato soup, or they have the grilled cheese that has bacon, pimento cheese, and a fried green tomato with the soup.
Yep.
So I went for the fried green tomato one, pimento cheese and all that. It is delicious. The grilled cheese is perfect.
And you get a whole half a sandwich.
You get a whole half a sandwich. That was our thing for the whole time. We're like, what do you get? What's a whole half a chicken? We got a whole half a sandwich. It's just half of a sandwich.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I mean?
it's a whole
but
half. It's not like half of a half.
then you would say it was a quarter of a sandwich. We're just talking too much by saying a whole, but I understand what it's saying. You know what I mean? Like I
Okay.
totally get why you say it, because if you just say, well, half a sandwich, I think it's harder for somebody to think in their mind, well, what does half a sandwich look like? But when you say whole, you're just saying it's a good portion to me. You know what I mean? But yes, if you got a quarter of a sandwich, you have a quarter of a sandwich. You don't say, I got half of a sandwich.
But when you say a quarter of a sandwich, I don't picture half of a sandwich.
But would you say I got a whole quarter of a sandwich?
See, I still don't know if I'd be like, what's a quarter? And then that's small. But
Even a quarter of this sandwich, though, would have been pretty
but
good.
you
because
think
it is
of
a great
grilled
portion, yeah.
cheese, which is 2 pieces of bread,
Right.
and
it's
you
cut
cut
in half.
diagonally in half.
You have 2 halves.
And you have 2 halves.
So you get a
you
whole
get
one, and
I
get a
one.
whole one.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
So if somebody says, but then if you told someone, we each had a whole sandwich, you have to include the half or they think you had 2 sandwiches. So,
Correct.
All right. Well, I'm glad that we settled that because I don't think we settled anything at all. But now everybody knows what we mean and Rachel means, because I think she had said it, I think, at one point too. And I was like, wait, a whole half? And I totally get it because I say it, but it doesn't make any sense.
It
So
does
anyway, they
make
do
sense
have
to
this,
me.
and it is an outstanding.
Yes, it is.
The bread, the sourdough bread, and the butter on the outside, and the grit. It is so
really great.
perfect. The cheese is melty. I will say I am pimento cheesed out for a while now, man. I've had pimento cheese on 4 different occasions within a week. I like pimento cheese, but I found out that's too many times for it. That's too much pimento cheese. So,
You don't want pimento cheese pizza tonight?
no, I was getting into the last 2 bite or 2, and like whatever section of my body holds the pimento cheese, it was like, no, sir, we are done. So it was very good, but I wish I had just gotten the standard grilled cheese. And the soup is amazing. And this is one of those things, again, sorry to throw you under the bus, Italy. This could be Campbell's canned tomato soup, but they're doing something to it to make it taste homemade. Now, it could be homemade. It could be fresh made, whatever. But I'm saying if it's not, they've at least done something or found the highest quality of tomato soup prepackaged as they can.
Right.
So I love this thing. It comes in a keepsake tomato soup can.
It does not.
It's made of plastic.
Did you throw it away this time?
I did this time because I already have one on the shelf from before.
Oh my God.
I'll never forget. I was washing it out in the bathroom right there.
Yes, you said this last episode.
And a guy just looked at me and I was like, yes, I'm washing out this soup can to keep. Like, I'm that guy. So we did end that. It is 45 degrees out. It is rainy.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Yes,
overcast and dark.
Yep.
It is wet.
Yep.
It is gross. So what'd you get?
Ice cream.
Yes, you did. You sure did.
I was so excited.
Wouldn't be the first time that day.
No, I was so excited to get the imagination cone. And then I was going to completely just eat it all on my own.
What happened?
You should have gotten your own is what happened.
I should have just gotten a bubblegum cone. I could have just gotten a plain
Anyways,
bubblegum cone. We can get another one in 3 weeks. We'll each get one this time.
I'm going to get my own. But the imagination cone, if you weren't with us on the last episode, it is bubblegum soft serve in a lavender cone, sparks of imagination, which is nerds sprinkled on top, and then white chocolate wings. It is $6.75, and it is worth every dime penny of $6.75 in my opinion.
Use a snack credit.
It's so good.
Whatever. This thing is
so
amazing.
good. I said it. I said it to quite a few people, and I'm like, it just takes me back to childhood of that. I think it's called a screwball ice cream, where it's bubblegum ice cream and there's a bubblegum at the end. It's so daggum good.
Yeah, Big League Chew is what I compared it to, or the
And even Amy agreed.
What
Amy
was the
took
rope gum stuff. Do you remember that? It had a dispenser. What was it called though? Was it
bubble tape?
Bubble tape. That's what it was.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just that classic.
Yep. It's so good. Even Amy completely agreed because I allowed her to take, and I even offered Rachel,
yes,
but to take a taste of it. You know, she took it with her spoon and stuff because she actually went ahead and got the Candy Trio Flight, which is a Dole Whip strawberry with Starburst Mini fruit chews, a Dole Whip lemon with Skittle Pop, the freeze dried candies, and then your Dole Whip lime with the chili lime seasoning with Lifesaver gummies. And this is new for $8, and they've changed it since we've been there already.
Yeah.
And they are giving you quite a bit of Dole Whip.
Yeah. Did you see him packing it back? Did you see him packing it back there? Yeah, they would fill the Dole Whip where you think Dole Whip would be done, and then they were packing it by hitting it on the counter so it would settle even more, and then topping it even more. I will say, this has to $8. This has to be the best value of at the Festival of the Arts for sure, and possibly anywhere, because it is 3 full-size Dole Whips.
And so that's what I was just going to say. But please get somebody to share this with.
Yes.
Because even Amy and me, I tasted some. We did like the strawberry the best.
That was very good.
I did want to try the chili lime seasoning with the Dole Whip lime with the chili lime seasoning on top, the tahini or whatever it's called. It was fine.
Yeah, there's only a little sprinkle.
Yeah,
so that's all you're getting, and then it's lime.
Yeah, it's fine. But strawberry was the best. But even with you eating it, Amy eating it, Rachel was like, "I'm good." Amy still threw some away.
It was so much.
It was so much.
Yeah, and this is what I don't understand, because doesn't this sound like you're getting a Dole Whip strawberry with Starburst Minis fruit chews that are sprinkled on top or within the Dole Whip?
No, they come on the side.
I know that, but does it not sound that? Is that what you would think? There is no way on earth, my love.
You're right.
That you read this and thought you would get 3 separate Dole Whips and then a small tray with 3 compartments, each filled with candy.
Only because
we had seen it.
Right. We've seen it.
So they did change this. They used to all sit on kind of a board, and what was happening is people were turning around, and there was nothing holding the candy thing on, and it was sliding off, or the wind would blow. So now it's basically like you've seen the beer flights in. It's that rectangular one with the 3 spots. They're now putting the Dole Whip in each of those. They're sliding the candy underneath it so that it sits on top. I love Starburst Minis.
Yep.
I think that these Lifesaver gummies now are my favorite gummy of anything. Mm-hmm. And I actually really enjoyed the freeze-dried stuff like the Skittles. Mm-hmm. I know you could just mix them yourself. It's just a weird composition to me. And it doesn't come off as artful. No. I think it would actually be more artful if they were putting the candy in some manner within the Dole Whip.
Yeah. That's true.
I will say though, the Lifesaver or the Starburst Minis, after they're sitting underneath the cold Dole Whip, they're very hard. Yeah. So don't go biting into one like you would a regular Starburst, because it might chip something.
Yeah.
That was all we ate as far as Festival of the Arts. Mm-hmm. But we did stop into La Cava del Tequila because I had heard from many, many people about a non-alcoholic drink that they have there. Mm-hmm. Reason we had not done it in the past almost 11 months now is because it's normally an absolute madhouse in there.
Yes,
and we just didn't want to. So I think with the cold, with Grand Fiesta currently being shut down, the line was not anything really. We got in within a few minutes to just get a grab and go. And I went ahead and ordered it. It's called the Mentirosa. Mm-hmm. It is Gardlip Grove Seedlip, which is the zero proof spirit that we're finding in some different places around property over at Haleo, for example.
Right.
It's got watermelon and lime juice, raspberry agave, an herbal hint, and a hibiscus salt rim for $14. Blind taste test. I don't think anybody would know that this is non-alcoholic because it tastes exactly like a well-crafted watermelon and raspberry hibiscus margarita.
I'll agree with that.
Down to the salt rim, down to the way it's just composed, to the flavors. That Garden Grove seed lip, I guess that's the one. It almost has that hint of tequila flavor in it.
Yeah.
Like it's hands down the best non-alcoholic beverage I've had on property now.
Nice.
Number one.
Hope they keep it.
I do too. I'll talk about what is now number 2 later, but I was just so impressed with this thing. It was really good. It's right there on their menu under mocktails. And I apologize because I forgot what you got. And the menus online are awful.
I got a Heineken Zero.
You did get a Heineken Zero though. That's right. Because you were looking at another
the other
option.
one was not the it was just like a there was no non-alcoholic seed lip or anything like that.
Nothing for anything else.
Right. It was just fruit juices, I guess.
So that's right.
And I
you
was
got
like,
the Heineken Zero.
I'll just do a Heineken Zero because they had that on the list as well.
Yeah. I'll wait in line. I will gladly go wait in line now to get this again. And now you know what it's like.
That I've tasted it and like it, I would get this again.
You get it too, right?
Get this with yes.
Yeah. And this is one, I mean, again, I know that it's non-alcoholic, but they're still composing it in that way, and it still has a 0 proof thing. $14 is still a lot to pay for something that's non-alcoholic. It's worth every dang penny.
Yeah,
this is one of the ones that I'm just like $14, no problem.
Yeah.
I will gladly give you $14. So absolutely loved it. So we were having our meetup that evening, originally on the rooftop of Paddlefish.
Yes.
That was not going to work so well with the weather.
It was very cold.
So
and rainy.
Where did we end up? How do we end up there? Because we had good little turnout we had 10 people.
Yeah.
We all got together. So
yeah. Well, Jeremy was talking about it, and Rachel started it and said Homecoming, and I was like, ooh, I second that. Mm-hmm. Yes, let's do that. So with that being said, over the course of the time, we did.
While myself and I think somebody else was, I don't know if it was Amy or whoever, we were all thinking that's a great idea. There is no chance we're getting 8 to 10 people in Homecoming tonight. That was our whole thought.
Yeah.
And then finally we all gave in and was like, Homecoming really is a great idea. Let's just go and see what happens.
And so we did, and it was almost like they had a tent up on the outside.
That sunshine or shine bar is called the shine bar area out there.
Right. Yeah. And then they had a bunch of heaters, and then nobody was there, so we didn't know if anything was open. And a guy came out and was like, "Yeah, I'll totally take care of you."
Yeah, Ben was wonderful.
Oh my God, amazing. So we sat all of us there and had and enjoyed a fun Main Street Magic.
Yeah, it was wonderful. And then
meetup.
And now it was rainy, it was cold, it was gross. Like locals weren't going to come out.
Right.
There's no reason. So even inside was not bad for a walk up. But obviously, if you do want to go to Homecoming, you get a reservation. 60 days out.
Yep.
Put it at the top of your list when you're doing your advanced dining reservations. Of course, if you don't get it, you can go to msmfriends.com, click on the mouse dining link, put in alerts. You can get free alerts from them when Homecoming does open up. So just know that this is not very typical to just walk up, even though it was outside even.
Yeah.
That's not very typical at all.
Yeah.
So if you do go back to episode 473, we talked about Homecoming. It was, our first time there.
Okay.
And
sounds about right.
Homecoming was one of the places that I thought sounded way too overrated for a very long time. And in that episode, I'm pretty sure it is, I admit how wrong I was because it is fabulous. Episode 572, we talk about brunch.
Yep.
And I know Homecoming is sprinkled throughout some other areas and some other episodes. So it is a place that we absolutely love. We're going to focus on what you and I got.
Yes.
But do you want to talk about what a couple other folks got and just their overall thoughts? Because we had Chuck got the chicken and donuts.
Yep.
Which he loved very much.
Yes.
John got I think it's their hot chicken sandwich.
That's right.
Which I think is one of his favorites.
Yep.
John knows Homecoming. Homecoming knows John.
Yep.
Rachel got shrimp and grits.
Yep.
Along with helping me with my dish that we had planned out. I'll tell you all about in a little bit. Lisa had a Cuban.
Yes.
That she said was very different than a normal Cuban, but really good.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I forget what the slight difference was than kind of a normal Cuban.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, what did Liv have? I don't think I was paying enough attention to that side of the table, but
the meatloaf platter.
Oh, meatloaf platter.
Yep, and she said hers was good.
She liked hers, but I don't think she loved.
She said it was a little dry.
It was dry, yeah. But I think she really enjoyed the flavors.
Yes.
And all that.
Yes.
So let's move on to what you had.
Are you sure?
No, let's start with what I had.
Yeah.
So I finally, after talking about this for so very long.
Well, you and Rachel were like talking about the famous fried chicken.
Yeah.
And
we were going to split it.
I thought that we could split it because I was kind of like, ooh, some fried chicken. Yes. I don't know. I was in that comfort food mood because of the weather was awful.
This is homecoming at its best.
And it's been cold. Like it's been consistent.
Yeah.
So with all this being said, then Rachel was like, wait, I thought we were. And I was like, oh yeah, because I'll get the burger.
Yeah.
You get this. So yes. So you and Rachel went ahead and decided to split Art's famous fried chicken. This is a buttermilk brine for 24 hours, then perfectly fried and served with creamy mashed potatoes, a cheddar drop biscuit, and love for $34. You can get some gravy on the mashed potatoes, or you can get it on the side.
Yep.
You opted for the side.
Yep. And I got a side order of French fries because I just wanted some French fries, but I didn't want to take away my mashed potatoes and substitute them. So I was double potatoing.
You sure were. So, all right. So what did y'all think?
Their mashed potatoes are great there. They're super creamy. Rachel's not a fan of gravy in general. The gravy is an interesting gravy. It is much more of a white gravy like you would get on biscuits and gravy, but without like any sausage component. So it is good, but it's that gravy. Again, it's not that brown standard kind of mashed potato. I feel like Thanksgiving gravy.
Right.
So that was good. The drop biscuit is good. It's dry. There wasn't butter or anything with it. Like I think a butter or pepper jelly would have been good with it.
Do you
but
think
it's still
you could
a good.
Have asked?
I'm sure I could have.
Okay.
I just wasn't bothering.
Let's talk about how it came out.
Okay.
He asked.
He said you get a breast and
it.
2 thighs. Is that fine? We said sure.
Yep.
You know, I'm not a fan of dark meat, but I'm going to eat dark chicken meat, you know, from Homecomin. Like that I'm going to try. And I love chicken breasts and all. So we're like, yeah, that's fine. So it comes out. So there is a clearly visible drumstick, which is connected to the breast piece, which would be normal. It's only half of the breast, and there is no bone on the breast portion. The only bone is inside of the drumstick. The 2 thighs are completely deboned. And I mean, to debone a thigh like that, you almost have to it's almost like rolled out. You know what I mean? So it's almost like a thinner, longer piece of chicken. At some places that chicken was a little bit thicker than the other. Some of it was almost like there wasn't chicken in there. And all of this is fried and breaded. So first I got it and the colors are beautiful and all. And I'm just picking up I'm really confused at what these pieces are.
Yes.
So I'm like,
it did look weird.
It looked very weird.
Even Rachel was like,
yeah,
what am I getting?
Yeah. I don't even know what I handed her at first. Like I put something on a plate and I was like, here, I don't know what it is. There's no bone in it to determine, you know? So that part was very odd. Then there was the flavor. Well, first of all, Art Smith of all people, I'm just surprised is deboning a chicken for frying.
Yeah.
Like that bone and having it there adds so much flavor and support. You know what I mean? Like for the meat and stuff. So I was just very, very surprised by that. I don't know if this was an off night. I don't know what's going on. It was not good. There was not a ton of flavor at all in the breading. Again, the chicken, now the part of the breast that I did have was pretty juicy, but not anything that I was like, okay, wow, I get it now.
Right.
There was no point in me eating this that I was like, oh, that's it just was there. And if you had put this in front of me at anywhere else, I could have had a million guesses and I would have not said that this came from Homecomin. Like there's just zero way. Rachel pretty much had all the exact same thoughts and given her stamp of approval. Liv did try some and felt the same, that there wasn't any kind of seasoning at all to the breading. You felt the same way.
I honestly, it wasn't bad, but I'm going to say it like this, y'all. I would have preferred Publix fried chicken.
Oh, 100%.
Over it.
Not even without a doubt. I'd prefer 50's Primetime fried chicken over this. I would prefer Hoop-de-Doo Reviews fried chicken over this. I would prefer, and I'm really not being mean, Walmart has a lot of those hot areas. They've got fried chicken and stuff in there.
Have you ever had Walmart's fried chicken?
I have not, but I can guarantee you it may not be better than this, but it's not going to be worse because this was just some fried, smashed out meat. Like a hack job too of the debone. I don't know what's going on because Chuck's chicken had all bones in it in the pieces that he had. And John said, from his understanding, they are obviously preparing them separately. They're not just, here's our fried chicken station and this is how it goes out for every dish that it's a part of.
Right.
No, it's like separate. They're preparing it separately. I just don't get it. And I still have so many people. I'll get this again one day. But I have had so many people who swear by it and they love it. I was trying to get clarification on, did yours have bones or not? There were a lot that said it did not.
Right.
So I think some people said it did. John sent me every picture he had of. He's got like 20 pictures of Homecomin fried chicken. And going through them, it's almost you can't tell from the photo. Like, does that all have the bones or not? It just, none of it worked. I was super disappointed.
I'm sorry.
I was very, very lucky that I got to have some bites of what you got. So let's move on because we always love to finish on as positive as we can with the restaurant. And we love Homecomin.
And we love Homecomin. Yes, and we would come back again and again and again.
If you said let's go tomorrow, I would go.
Right, you just wouldn't.
I just would not get the fried chicken dish.
Right. So I had the Art Burger, which is 2 beef patties topped with American cheese. So I get this burger, and it's a 2-patty burger, which kind of I'm not sure if it's 100%. Like kind of smashed or what, but it seems smashy. Yeah. Not like fully smashed, but not, I don't know.
Yeah, the patty size I'd say was between the patty smash, a true smash burger over at Steakhouse 71.
Right.
And a classic American burger at STK that we did for lunch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not all that smashy, but a little smashy.
Yeah. It comes with tomatoes, lettuce, tomato, onion, pickle on a brioche bun, but a special sauce and a tomato bacon jam. Put the pickles on the side because Jeremy wanted to taste. I did not say anything about the special sauce.
Yeah, I didn't realize that, so I don't know what was in it.
I just started to say, and I don't know but this was fantastic. And this pickles were basically, and Jeremy has definitely tasted these before. I think he still prefers almost not to, but they're the pickled cucumbers.
Yeah,
they're not really pickles.
Yes, somewhere they don't.
I don't know what they
cross the
whatever
through the pearly
You're
gates
still
into
weird,
pickle land.
But
you know what I mean? These are seasoned cucumbers,
right? And they're a little spicy. It's really, really good. But I did get them on the side, which a whole bunch of them also come on the side, by the way, for the art.
Do you think that many would have come on the burger? It was a lot.
It was a lot.
Almost like you asked for a side of their seasoned cucumbers.
Right. Which I was happy that you were okay with because I was scared it was going to drip into your fried chicken and everything.
Yeah.
So, no, because mine on the side when I asked was in a cup.
Which makes sense.
So I was pulling those out and eating it. But this was actually fantastic. And instead of getting house-made barbecue chips, I went ahead and opted for some good old mac and cheese. And holy crap, this thing is like Lacey's mac and cheese, where she made for Christmas, where it was 1 pound of pasta to 2, maybe and a half pounds of cheese.
Yeah, this is definitely hitting that ratio.
So good.
It really is.
So good.
It is outstanding.
Outstanding. This burger was fantastic. Yeah. It was cooked to perfection. It was a little like messy. It was fantastic.
Yeah. It was the most perfect classic American burger that I've possibly ever had. I've really enjoyed the one at STK. And the price point for that lunch deal is about half of this.
Oh yeah, because this was $20. By the
I'd
way,
walk on around the corner to here and just spend twice as much money for this burger over the STK one. And now again, if you really want to go, I understand that Ron and I could go to STK and basically both get our own burger, fries for the same price as one of these. So if you are on that budget, 100% STK is great. Mm-hmm. But I would gladly double that at lunch.
Yeah.
To get this one again.
Yeah, this was really good.
I loved it. I want my own next time. Mm-hmm. I love that he's just doing a classic American burger. And that's the thing I will say at Homecomin is so great about is everything in there it's elevated classic.
Yep.
They're not trying to,
deviled eggs.
He's a brilliant
elevated,
chef.
Right.
And he's not trying to be like, oh, let me take deviled eggs and put some faux gras and like, you know what I mean? Like, he's just like, I'm going to make deviled eggs the way every Southern person does, but just a whole other level. Mm-hmm. And that's what he does with all the food there, except for the fried chicken that I ate. So, all right. So, we did not get dessert there.
No, because we were going to go to Salt and Straw because we wanted our regular creamy ice cream.
It's
which
now
I
about
got
38 degrees.
Probably.
It's still wet and rainy.
Yep. I got my salted, malted, and chocolate chip cookie dough, and a what is it?
Yeah,
cone,
waffle cone.
and then I
got that whatever their peanut butter fudge ripple caramel delicious heaven is. It is my favorite ice cream.
Okay.
It's my favorite portion of an ice cream.
Okay.
Very, very close to the Turquoise Creek Madness, but that's frozen custard that's near us. So I think I can put this on that level, though. I love this stuff. So I'm excited for February and see what they're coming out with in February.
Yeah, me too.
We'll probably go back and try it. What do you think?
Yes, we will.
Well, should we?
And then after that, we did some walking around, and at this point, let's see, we ate like our dinner, which this was actually our first time we ate. I feel like that day, right?
A meal. We had done the Festival of the Arts, but it was the first meal.
Oh, that's right. We did.
Yeah, like full meal sit down.
Right.
And we did it relatively early because I think we were meeting up around 5.
Right.
And I think we had food in front of us probably by 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that's kind of early for us to eat. I'm just trying to set up the tone for how much more food I'm about to stick in my body this evening.
And
so y'all don't think I'm a lunatic.
He is a lunatic.
They ate a whole ice cream cone after half a plate of fried chicken.
And he didn't
7 pounds of mac and cheese, what felt like it, and about a whole half of your burger.
Yeah.
So somewhere around that,
No,
I don't know what area I got in there.
I think you
two
had
bites.
a quarter.
I had 2 bites. You think
you had a quarter.
Do you think it was a whole half of a half?
Yes.
Okay, I probably did have a whole half of a half. But I had the whole half of that half.
Right.
So that would be a quarter.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Rhonda.
So anyways, and he was still like hungry because he didn't eat a whole bunch of his fried chicken and stuff.
Story, and I'm sticking to it.
So,
and I played that card heavily. I think.
Did.
It's like I didn't even eat my whole meal. It wasn't that good.
So we
had my sad face.
So we went to Pizza Ponte.
Of course we did.
And we got one big Roma.
I did not eat it immediately.
And we got one Parmacat.
Yeah.
So we were leaving actually and about to walk by Gideon's, and I don't know why, but
it was now 36 degrees and still rainy and gross and wet.
There was like a 10-minute line, if that.
It was beautiful.
It was awesome.
This was probably 8:30-ish at this time, though.
Was it? Okay. And then with that being said, we were going to pass by, even with the line being really short, but it's still this month's peanut butter chocolate swirl. And John said it was really good, and Jeremy loves it, that type of thing. So we're like, all right, let's go. So we stood in line for about not even 10 minutes. I think maybe total by the time we were done walking out, it might have been 10.
By the time we got in to the time we had picked and walked out.
Yep.
And it was moving real. A lot of times you still get inside, and obviously that queue is like full.
Right.
But even that was kind of sparse. So they weren't even letting everyone in that they could, which was nice. You got to kind of. It was. I always feel so rushed through there.
Yeah.
Because I feel like most of the people they've been there. They know what they want.
Right.
I don't feel like it's kind of like the no soup for you. Even though they're not like that, I just feel like I just want to get through. I want to get my order. I want to act like I've been here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was nice to be able to hang out a little more.
It was. So the peanut butter chocolate swirl is a limited edition. It's peanut butter chocolate swirl. It's the best of both worlds. This almost half-pound beast is a combo of our popular peanut butter dough swirled with a triple chocolate dough, topped with chocolate chips, peanut butter chips, house-made candy peanuts, and then a sprinkle of salt. It's available all throughout January, and it is only $6.
Yeah. And this thing, it's like you said, weighs a whole half a pound. I'm done.
Okay. So also we were going through, and I didn't really look at the postcard that they gave us to order, but they had some cakes, and Jeremy goes, I wonder what kind of cakes they have. Well, they have a banana peanut butter chocolate cake. So I was like, we were gonna get 2 peanut butter cookies. And then when we saw this, we're like, okay, how about we get a slice of peanut butter cake and 1 peanut butter cookie? So you
said 2 peanut butter cookies, and I said, why don't we just get 1 cookie and 1 slice of cake? No, that actually is how it went.
Oh, okay.
No, it really did. You were still going to get 2 of the cookies.
I was?
And I was like, just get 1 cookie, and we'll just do 1 cake. Because we still have half a dozen in our freezer.
Okay.
And a dozen cookies from the Christmas party.
Maybe that is how it went. But anyways, this is a chocolate cake layered with peanut butter and banana icing. And this slice is only $8. And go ahead and say it.
Rachel's behind on podcasts, so she might not hear this for like 3 months, but she was giving me some stuff because this are the things that I said. This is the best piece of cake I've ever had. So that's for Rachel.
Think
this is
better than cake bake?
I think it is 2 times better than cake bake for half the price. And cake bake is good. I just think this is on a whole other level. And
now, is it just because you think it's
I love these flavors. Yes.
Banana peanut butter chocolate cake.
Could be.
Like it was the chocolate cake that was like, because I mean,
it was everything was the best that I've had.
I feel like
we need
cake. Well, so I feel like we need to get another, right.
Because if I remember serves, Rachel doesn't love the cake.
She does not.
She does not, right. So
she loves the cookies.
Right. And I think we've only had a bite or 2 of cake in the past.
We haven't really gotten much cake.
So again, from that experience with this flavor, it is my favorite piece of cake that I've ever had. Yes, I would like to go back, try another one. Maybe I'm not lumping all of their cake slices into the best.
Right.
I'm saying this one was.
Right. And it was really good.
It was.
The chocolate cake was very good and like moist and almost crumbly in a good way.
But just then, dense enough.
Correct.
You know what
because
I mean?
Then the banana and peanut butter icing, you could kind of like, it was just, you could almost like make a cake pop out of it.
Yeah. And I realized this after the conversation we were having with Amy at Wailulu, because Chuck got the banana old fashioned. Oh, yeah. And she was saying how she liked it because it tasted like real banana. She doesn't like flavored banana because it does,
right.
When you get banana candies, they don't taste like banana. They taste like banana flavor,
correct,
which is different than a banana.
100%.
So thinking about that now,
this
had real banana in that icing. I do not believe it had banana flavor.
Okay.
Like I think Amy would like this flavor of it. And I know a lot of people that like the taste of a banana, but they don't like that banana flavoring. Mm-hmm. So, or vice versa. I'd like both of them. Banana runt, best runt.
Yes, I agree.
Love them. They're so good, but it tastes nothing like a banana.
Yeah.
So I loved it. The cookie is probably in my top 3 of theirs now.
Yeah.
Again, that combination.
Yeah.
Like 3 of my favorite words are banana, chocolate. 4 of my favorite words are peanut butter.
Okay.
And those 3 coming together with that cake and then having those 2 in this I thought it was outstanding.
Good.
Absolutely loved it.
Good.
All right. I want to talk real quick because.
So we went back. We ate all. We didn't eat it all. But here's what. Let's go though and say we did not eat the parmacat until last night.
Yes, we brought the whole piece home.
We brought that whole piece home and we ate it last night.
Yeah, but I ate that whole big Roman that night.
Yes, you did.
On the
I did
food
not.
bed.
Mm-hmm.
Not the sleep bed, the food bed.
So anyways, we get up the next day and we've got kind of a busy day and it's still going to be cold, but at least the sun was shining. And where did you want to go? You've wanted to go here. A whole bunch of locals have talked about it.
I hear all the time on Twitter, a lot of the locals like Professor Miller, Daniel Miller is one of them I know. Tons of people is this Jeff's Bagel Run. This and what is so funny to find out now, I know people that know Jeff and his wife very well and have said they're just incredible people. They have several of these locations throughout Orlando now.
Nice.
And I think they have like 10 or 12 locations now that are open. They've got like another dozen that are opening. I saw some opening now in Charlotte.
That's congratulations.
They really
That's
started.
fantastic.
They started this officially with their first brick and mortar after COVID.
Dang.
So Jeff's Bagel Run and Jessica and Landon know Jeff and Danielle.
Mm-hmm.
And during COVID, they were making these bagels
Mm-hmm.
and they were running them to their friends. Like she said, she'd get up, they would order some from him. And it was like hard. Like there'd be a limited amount. You had to get in there and all.
Mm-hmm.
And he would come and deliver bagels to their front door during the pandemic and all. And that's where it just started to blow up. And his whole story is out on their website. I got an everything bagel with jalapeno cream cheese. You got a plain bagel with...
Well, first of all, there's a lot of different cream cheeses. When I
so
tell you
many.
a lot, like I'm talking cake batter.
Yeah.
Oreos.
Yeah.
Like some where I'm like...
Cannoli.
I'm like...
Crazy flavors.
But then cream cheese and chive or whatever.
Yeah.
And then blueberry or strawberry. I'm
Yep.
trying to remember like or garlic.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and then there's whipped butters. There's a garlic and there's a cinnamon honey. So I'm like, I don't know what I want. I don't really eat bagels because it's all the bread. It's all the carbs. I'm like,
love a good bagel. But I don't eat them often.
I'm good. So I was like, well, let me do a plain with the cinnamon honey whipped butter.
Yeah.
So that is what I got. And I ate half of a half.
I'm not bringing it up.
A whole half of a half
So a quarter.
of a bagel.
Yeah.
In the top one, not the bottom
Yep.
where it's thicker and
Yep.
puffier. But this was absolutely fantastic. I would have probably eaten the whole thing, but I resisted and did
Yeah.
not.
These
Brought it
are
home.
amazing.
The girls loved it.
Yeah. Kaylin ate the other half this morning with
Good.
the honey butter of yours.
Good.
I ate my whole everything one.
Yes, you did.
In fact, I put the jalapeno cream cheese on the top. I ate it. And then I tried a little bit of your honey butter. And then I ate the other half of it with nothing on it.
Oh,
Just
okay.
And I'd say dry, but it's not dry. Like it
Yeah.
is. These bagels are the best bagels I've ever had.
Oh,
they are
Lord.
ridiculously
Okay.
good. And I walked in and I was so excited. I was like, I'm gonna get a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. They don't do any of that.
Nope.
It's bagels and spreads and really good coffee too. Actually.
Oh, the coffee was
Yeah.
fantastic. And this was so they had a banana bread cold brew.
Mm-hmm.
And the first sip, I don't know what happened. It was super weird. But then I kind of just shook it up, and that the rest of that, I drank the rest of it, and
Yeah.
it was fantastic.
I was like disappointed I couldn't get a bacon, egg, and cheese on like a fresh made bagel until I ate this without bacon, egg, and cheese and was like, don't ruin this bagel with
That's
bacon.
good. Yeah, good.
Jess said the same thing I was thinking though. She said she's got them delivered before and then she's made a bacon, egg, and cheese
Nice.
out of them. But
Nice.
this will be a new stop. There's going to be one near you. This one was like 2 miles right off the entrance to Disney Springs there on the northern end, I guess might
Exit
be, or
68.
eastern end. Yeah. And just right down the road, there's a whole new
Yep.
shopping area there. Like, go get this or get it delivered. You can DoorDash. I think they might actually deliver themselves. Just get these sometime. Already I'm like, if we do possibly the Fort Wilderness Day in August with the kids and stuff, one of those mornings, I'm going to Jeff's Bagel Run and I'm bringing a bunch back. Jessica said also that they freeze very well. So next time we're there,
Nice.
we'll get like a dozen and bring them home.
All right.
Holy moly, these were good. All right, let's close out. We did go over to Magic Kingdom for a
Yes,
little
we
bit
did.
and kind of just bopped around. It was insane.
It was. We rode the People
Insane.
Mover with Liv, and we did. There was one other thing we did. What did we do?
What else did we do?
Oh gosh.
Oh, we did the train.
the
We did
the
a full
train.
train
I'm like,
ride.
wait a minute. There was
Yeah.
2 rides that we rode.
Got to see the trackless Big Thunder Mountain.
Yep.
All track is gone now, which
That
is
was super cool.
amazing.
Yep.
And they have updated the railroad spiel as you go by there to reflect that. That's
Yep.
basically saying, so I can't remember exact words. Of course, they did a perfect job of it,
100%.
saying like, it's not currently working, but it'll be back soon and all this kind of good stuff.
Yep.
And he did say, I thought
With
he
more
said, with some
surprises.
special surprises and all. So I'm
Uh-huh.
hoping that adds the explosions and the smoke.
Yes.
But I mean, if we're getting a new track, that's awesome.
Yes.
And I want to see, I can only assume the new track is for adjustments to properly fit this in Cars Land next
Yeah.
to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'll be interested to see is how much does the track change, specifically that part that kind of almost goes over Rivers of America.
Mm-hmm.
That's the area I could see maybe that changes. I don't know. We'll wait and see.
Yep. Yeah, so we were there. We also got the Sweetheart popcorn from the Colonel Poppers again. It was super good. And then we were all hungry. Chuck, Amy, Rachel, Liv, me and you. And so we were like, hey, y'all want to go to Wailulu? Because, yeah, it's super easy.
Yep.
And they haven't eaten there. And we were all hungry.
And every last one of them was like, that sounds like a great idea.
So I mean, obviously, if you go back to 732, that's the first time we ate. This was the second time. I was super proud of Jeremy because he was all about working. Listen, y'all, he was amazing for y'all. I was like, nope, I'm getting the burger. I'm not working.
You sure did. Good for you, man. I was still happy you did. But
because I shared it with you.
And we're going back in 3 weeks to meet up with Mitch. And so we will get something. I might get the burger.
I will get the poke bowl.
Okay. So we'll add some stuff, I guess.
But we can talk about everything that we did get.
Yeah, we can actually talk about a lot.
Yep.
We sat outside.
With Jamie.
First of all, there's 6 of us, and the only 6 tops they have available are outside.
Yes.
But Jamie was working outside. It was very cold, but
it was
that
very
was okay.
cold. There was heaters, but it was.
They're not putting a ton out.
Yeah.
So, but it was great. Jamie's so wonderful.
Yeah.
So, I did get the 0 proof pina colada again that I had. It is definitely my second favorite drink on property.
I got the hibiscus tea,
which
and
you love.
I really like it.
Yeah, and then
it's very, to me, like a very much like mocktail because I don't want any more. I want one, and that's it.
Yep. And then I did get after because I was asking. I forgot to ask last time. They do have Athletic Brewing, non-alcoholic beer. It's the Golden Road Ale, somewhere around there, something upside down ale or something. Yeah. So anyway, so they do have that stuff. But let's talk a lot about food because we had 6 of us.
We did.
Rachel, you got to go check out Rachie. I think it's Rachie Eats or it's Rachel Does Disney over on Instagram. She's got great food reviews and reels and stuff.
Yep.
So she will often get multiple things the way that we do, so she can try stuff. And so I think it benefited everyone, especially us. Thank you, Rachel.
Yes, thank you.
We appreciate it. What all did we get at the table first that are the three of the items that are off of their appetizer section?
Yeah, so we got the sticky pork ribs, we got the crispy chicken wings, and we got the garlic shrimp. So I'm trying to remember what Jamie said because Rachel asked how many ribs. Ribs and wings.
5 each.
And I thought there was one.
The Musubi is also 5 pieces.
Okay. So there's 5. She's like, I don't know why it's number 5, but there's 5. So there's 5 ribs, there's 5 wings, and 5 musubi. The garlic shrimp are only 3, but they are very large jumbo shrimp.
Yeah.
And
gluten friendly.
Yes.
So
this is what Amy ordered. So this is, we'll talk about this first. Your smoked paprika, black garlic emulsion, garlic lemon butter, and a crispy garlic for $16. $16 is a lot for 3, but it had like this side, like almost like a salad that Amy, that the whole thing was so good. She not only ate and gave us a bite of the shrimp too.
Shrimp was outstanding.
The shrimp was fantastic.
Perfectly cooked, and the flavor, everything about this was wonderful.
So good that she ate whatever. Like I joke because I don't remember. I don't remember where I was, and there was like the main meat, and then there was like this kind of like salad, but the dressing and the stuff it was in was so good. I just ate the entire thing. This is exactly what Amy did.
Yeah.
She loved the whole thing. She ate the entire thing.
Yeah.
It is a lot of garlic, but it is so good.
Yeah, it was very
so good.
Nice, light, refreshing. I liked it a lot. I would get it.
Absolutely.
And $16 is a lot. And even with all that, it still is a lot, but at least it's a lot that's worth it. You know what I mean? Like, again, if this was something that was even $13, $14, I don't think you'd ever second guess it. You might second guess this, but it's worth it. It was delicious.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now going to the pork ribs and the crispy wings, getting 5 each. So your pork ribs, you get salt cured green cabbage, furikake, and then that slaw.
Yeah, jicama slaw and pineapple chips.
Yep, for $15. Again, there's 5 of them. They're fantastic. I love the glaze that they were in. Yeah, the pork was so tender.
It was.
Like
These
kind
were
of falling
perfect.
off the bone. Oh, these were so good. And I think we both got a great
Batch.
Yeah,
because we had an order and Rachel had an order. So it was 10 total ribs. Every one was great. You know, I think I had one that maybe had a little bit. It was like an end cap that had a little bit of fat or something, but that was it. Like,
so good.
that was a little chewy, but like these were so good. You're all going to say, how do they compare to Morimoto ribs? Morimoto ribs are going to be the number one.
100%.
They just are.
Yep.
These are these have some of the same influences, you know, because you're looking at Asian, you're looking at Polynesian, right?
Yeah.
And so they have a lot of the same influences, but they are two very different, I feel like, flavor profiles still.
Yeah,
You know,
agree.
and they're both excellent. I do think that if you are craving Morimoto ribs,
Go get Morimoto ribs.
go get Morimoto ribs. But if you're in Magic Kingdom and you're craving Morimoto ribs, I think you can go over here and you're going to be perfectly happy. Like, you're going to really enjoy these. I thought they were fabulous.
They were.
Rachel
Everybody else loved them.
Everybody else loved them too. Rachel also got the crispy chicken wings, which are the adobo marinated. It's got a soy glaze, tomato Fresno pepper relish for $15. These were perfectly sized, perfectly cooked wings.
Mm-hmm.
Tender inside, nice crispy outside. They were just meaty enough. Didn't get much of a spice or anything from them in the adobo, but the flavors were great. They were kind of light. They weren't super over sauced or anything, so you really got to just taste kind of like the chicken and the skin and all. I liked them, and it's another one that I would get again. Like, you know, I want to go one time when you and I maybe just sit at the bar area, and I'll get the zero proof, you know, pina colada. You get your hibiscus tea thing, and we get to order the ribs and the wings or something. Would gladly do that.
Yes.
So, and I think for those, you know, you're getting 5 ribs for $15. You're getting 3 for, I believe, $19 over at Morimoto. So portion size, this is a really great value.
Yep.
And same with the wings. I think a $15, I think, is a wonderful price for that.
Yep.
So I don't feel like you don't second guess those ones at all. Now, speaking of the poke bowl, Amy did order an ahi poke bowl.
She did.
Yes.
Yep. And this is obviously gluten friendly. So it's sushi rice, style rice, pickled cucumbers, vegetables, spicy poke sauce, macadamia nuts with ahi tuna for $26.
You said pickled cucumbers there in that.
Sure
They're
did.
not saying pickles because
Right.
they're two separate things. They're not cucumbers. They're not pickles. They're somewhere in between. Like,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Anyways, Amy said this was fantastic, which made me excited because that is like seriously what I will get the next time.
Oh, speaking of tuna, talk about the ahi tuna crisp real quick. And just give a reminder of what we said last time if somebody hasn't listened. And then what we at least noticed because we saw another table get them this time.
We told everybody that, you know, if you've had yak and yeti, don't get them because they're good, but they're not wonderful. And they were also kind of like the last time, like they were more presented where there was
Like
a little
individual,
almost
you would call it?
individual.
Yeah.
This passed by and it almost looked more like a yak and yeti style. And I was like, oh.
They were stacked.
Yeah, it seemed more nacho-like.
It looked like there was some more stuff on top, too. I don't know
and
what.
all
so.
over. Like it, yes.
Yeah.
It looked very much more. So this is something like I could see myself trying like, all right, well, let me just get the nachos and the ribs.
Yeah.
So
especially just to compare and see if it did change a little.
Right.
So you did the burger, which
I did.
of course you love.
Oh
We
my
talked about that
gosh.
last time. It's outstanding.
It was. And I got the mac salad.
Yep.
It's $23. And this is the pressed patties. More of the smash style. And this time, like it was kind of falling off. And I was giving Jeremy
the little
some.
bits that like kind of separate and fall off.
Yeah.
All it was the meat and cheese. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might just have to get this for myself because Liv got the grilled teriyaki chicken chow mein salad. That's what John had last time. She loved it. I think their teriyaki chicken flavor, even though it's not like a real true kind of teriyaki that you expect from the stuff you like buy in the shelves, it's outstanding.
Yeah.
And then I went ahead. Chuck actually got the same thing, the teriyaki chicken sliders.
Yeah.
These are $19. It is got a kimchi slaw, sweet bun. You can get it with mac salad or sweet potato fries. I got sweet potato fries. They do have honey there.
Yep.
So we got a side of that. Rachel ended up getting a side of honey. Chuck liked the honey and the sweet potato fries. He had never done that. These are just these perfect little chicken sliders. I have not been to Hawaii. If Rhonda has, if you've known Rhonda for 5 minutes, she's probably told you that she has been to Hawaii.
That is not true.
I have not been, but when I used to go out to Beaverton, Oregon, I think it's just south of Portland.
Okay.
The Nike headquarters is actually there, and my brother used to hold an event for coaches from around the country, and we would go out there and we got to do it at the Nike headquarters. Anyway, apparently there's a very strong Polynesian Hawaiian culture there. And so there was a place nearby that they would get catered for one of the meals, and it had mac salad, it had the teriyaki chicken, like it had a lot of these things.
Nice.
This tasted like one of those folks invited you over to their house, and they're grilling out back. Like I don't know how they're imparting all this flavor without like charcoal back there. Remember, everything's electric in this kitchen. How they're not doing like flames. And the way this chicken tastes is just, it's perfect. It's like backyard Hawaiian barbecue, sitting around the pool. I would definitely get these again.
Yeah.
I love them. And it's just enough. They're two larger sliders.
Yeah.
You know, they're somewhere in between your traditional slider and a regular size like bun, I would say.
I will go back to Rachel also got the burger.
Yes.
And she actually liked Steakhouse 71's better.
Yes, she does.
She wasn't saying this was bad.
Yeah, she still really enjoyed this
messy.
one.
She was like, she's not. She wasn't loving it.
She also agrees there's not much spice in that volcano sauce. I think she was looking for some more spice in it as well. I still think it's perfect.
Yes, I liked it too.
I do.
And then we went ahead and basically got all of the desserts again, which are the vanilla creme brulee with macerated berries for $11, your chocolate cake, which is a salted caramel ganache, coffee infused chantilly cream, and gluten-free. Yeah. Amy got that for $11, and then the Dole Whip sundae, which is just $8. But all of these were great. My creme brulee actually tasted better.
It was. Yeah. The last time was good.
This last one was good. This one was better.
Really, really good.
So it was really good.
I love this Dole Whip sundae. I was saying to Chuck, I was like, I know it's just Dole Whip and a few extra things, but there's something about it. Those macerated berries, when you get them with the Dole Whip, and he agreed. He loved it. He thought it took Dole Whip to like a whole other level.
Yeah, and then Amy loved the chocolate cake.
That thing
which
was
it was
really, really good.
Yep.
I love Wailulu. I'm so excited to go back in a couple of weeks, of course, but I'm excited for us to plan a time to
do a nighttime.
Go do there at night and try and time it right where we can potentially maybe get in and still see Happily Ever After or whatever it may be. That would be just super cool. But get to this place before it gets so you can't get to this place.
Yeah.
Because it is, as word
so
continues
good.
to get around, this is going to get busier and busier and busier.
Yep.
So go ahead and check it out. All right. That's all we got for now. But of course, if you want everything that's coming up, we aren't heading to the parks that we know of for about 3 weeks, but we're going to have some other wonderful episodes coming up in between that time. And then we'll head down there and stay at the new Stella Nova Resort while spending time over at Disney.
Yeah.
So we are going to answer the age-old question. Yeah. Is the cost savings of staying at a Universal hotel but going to Disney worth it? And we will answer that for you.
Yes, we will.
We both already know the answer, but we'll just we'll try and verify.
Okay.
What we think with actual findings.
Okay.
So go ahead and hit subscribe. You get these brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And if you are ready for that next trip, of course, no matter where you want to go, our trusted partner, MEI-Travel, will handle the planning so you can focus on the memories. They offer free vacation planning services and have nearly 20 years of experience creating memorable vacations. Visit mainstmagic.com/travel for a fee-free, no-obligation quote today. And then, of course, both Rhonda and I would be so very thankful if you could please leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.